The first thing Anna Reed noticed was the sharp smell of antiseptic. It floated in the air, cold and clean, and made her stomach turn. When she opened her eyes, the ceiling swam into focus. Flat white, harsh fluorescent lights. A metal arm holding a clear bag that dripped into a tube taped to her wrist. He tried to swallow. Her throat worked. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. A man in a white coat leaned over her bed, his voice calm but edged with concern. "Can you tell me your name?" he asked. Anna's lips parted. Silence. Panic climbed up her chest like rising water. Not because her mouth was dry, but because there was nothing inside her head to offer him. No name. No address. No faces. A blank wall. The doctor watched her eyes, then nodded slowly as if confirming what he already feared. "You've had a head injury and mild hypothermia," he said, soft and patient. "Temporary amnesia can happen in cases like this. You're safe. Your memory may come back in pieces." He stepped aside and spoke to two nurses near the door. Anna caught single words: concussion, observation, stable. The room grew quiet again. She closed her eyes and felt darkness press in. In that darkness came the sound of water, cold water, touching her skin, climbing, dragging. She shivered and pulled the thin blanket to her chin. Her body knew something her mind could not name. Morning brought a group of doctors with clipboards and quiet voices. The tall one with glasses asked, "Still no memory?" Anna shook her head. Her body felt okay enough. No cast, no bandages beyond the small dressing at her hairline, but her mind felt cracked like a mirror. Later, visitors came for other patients. Laughter, flowers, the squeak of shoes. At the far bed, an elderly woman's grandson kept glancing over. He was maybe 15, tall and awkward with a soda can in his hand. Finally he drifted closer. "Is it true?" he whispered. "You don't remember who you are?" Anna turned her head and gave a tiny shake. He frowned, thinking hard. "Have they tried the internet?" he asked, already pulling out his phone. "Everyone's online. We can do a reverse image search. If I take a picture, maybe your name pops up." She wanted to say no or yes or wait, but the words were slow to form. He had already lifted the camera. A soft click. Then quiet tapping, swiping, searching. He hunched over the screen, eyes narrow with focus. Time stretched. The soda can hissed faintly in his grip. Suddenly his face lit up. "Found you," he hissed, then louder. "Found you." A nurse shushed him. He turned the phone so she could see. A profile picture stared back. A woman with her face, her eyes. Under it, Anna Reed. The name struck her like a bell. Anna Reed. It felt heavy and new, like a key that fit a door she could see but couldn't open. She reached toward the screen as if it might vanish. The boy grinned. "Told you it would work." 3 days later the hospital cleared her to leave. The discharge nurse went through a stack of papers. Neurologist referral, therapy schedule, printed instructions with short lines and serious words. "Take it slow," the nurse said gently. "Eat warm food. Sleep when you can. If a memory comes, don't force it, just write it down." Anna nodded, though the sentences felt far away like voices through glass. A plastic bag held her clothes, stiff jeans that smelled faintly of salt, a gray sweatshirt that carried a clean sea chill she didn't understand. Outside, the Seattle sky hung low and gray, mist soft against her cheeks. At the curb a cab driver asked, "Where to?" Anna froze. Then she pulled a small envelope from her pocket, the one the social worker had tucked there. Inside, on a slip of paper, was an address the police believed was hers, found through that online trail. "Capitol Hill," she read, her voice small but steady. The ride slid through wet streets. Storefronts blurred. Buses sighed. People in dark coats moved like shadows inside the drizzle. The cab stopped at a narrow, weather-worn building between two cafes with fogged windows. She climbed the stairs, a key heavy in her palm. The lock clicked. The door swung open. Her chest tightened without warning. She didn't remember this place, but her feet seemed to. She stepped into a narrow hall, turned left without thinking, and found the kitchen. "Cold on the right, hot on the left," she whispered, testing the faucet. It was true. A chipped blue mug waited on a shelf at shoulder height, exactly where her hand reached. Muscle memory knew what her mind did not. The bedroom told simple stories. Clothes in the closet fit her frame. A small suitcase sat half-packed at the foot of the bed, like someone had been leaving, or had just arrived and changed her mind. On the nightstand lay a photo album. Anna carried it to the couch and opened it with careful fingers. The first page, a younger version of her between two smiling parents in front of a Christmas tree. Next, a hike in the Cascades with three friends laughing at something off camera. More pages. School photos, office parties, coffee cups raised in a tiny cafe. One face appeared often. A woman with short dark hair and a sharp, determined smile. The sight made Anna shiver, though she couldn't say why. Before she could turn another page, the phone rang. The sound jolted her. She searched the living room until she found the cordless buried under unopened mail. "Hello," she said, testing the word. A woman's voice rushed in, breathless with relief. "Anna, thank God. Where have you been? I've called and texted for days." The voice was familiar and slippery at once. "Who is this?" Anna asked softly. Pause. Then, Kate Parker. "We work together." The woman exhaled hard. "Please don't tell me you forgot me too." Anna swallowed. Silence. Kate's voice softened, then tightened again. "Listen, I didn't want to say this on voicemail, but Cher told me you were fired last week. I had to hear it secondhand. You just vanished. Your phone died. Are you okay?" The word fired rang in Anna's skull like a dropped pan. An office light. A shut door. The taste of bad coffee. The memory slid away as she reached for it. I don't know," Anna said. It was the most honest answer she had. On the walk back, wind curled rain around their ankles. "Who is Victor Gray?" Kate asked. Anna shook her head. "Something bad," she said. Nora wrote his name again and again. At Anna's apartment, they spread the notes across the table. Police reports with black bars. Business articles about contracts and vendors. Screenshots of social threads. In the center, a photo of a young woman with auburn hair and wary eyes. Anna Miles. Anna traced the picture with one finger. "She's not just a source," she murmured. "She's a victim." Kate read a note aloud. "Engaged to Gray 2 years ago. Controlled her money, her job, her friends. He tried to leave. Accident on I-5. Hospitalized." Anna's stomach tightened. Another card read, "Father, retired captain, lives near docks." Kate's brows lifted. Hannah's father could help. Anna nodded. "But first, the boathouse." Kate scoffed. "You want to walk back into your nightmare?" "I want to make it stop being a nightmare," Anna said. "I want it to be a memory I can use." They reached the boathouse by mid-afternoon, clouds hanging low, water the color of slate. The building's siding was rust orange, graffiti curling along the bottom boards. A metal stair climbed to a second-floor door. Kate grabbed Anna's sleeve. "If we see anything off, we run." "Deal," Anna said. They went up. The hallway smelled of damp wood and salt. Inside the big room, broken chairs lay piled in a corner, but one table sat clear as if someone had planned to return. Anna stepped closer. She saw it all at once, like a film snapping into focus. Nora leaning over photographs, Hannah's voice tight with fear, wind pounding the roof, the door slamming open, two men in dark coats, a fist like iron. Anna's hand flew to the back of her head. "This is where it happened," she said. "They came for us. We didn't even finish speaking." Kate's voice was barely a breath. "Did you see faces?" "Not clearly," Anna said. "But I remember Nora shouting a name." She searched the room, then looked out at the gray water. "Victor," she whispered. "Stay put," Kate said. "I'm coming tomorrow. You shouldn't be alone." The line clicked off. Anna lowered the phone and looked around the room. The suitcase waited like a question she could not read. She set the photo album on the table and pressed both palms to her eyes. When she finally slept, cold water rose to meet her. In the dream, she stood knee-deep in black waves. Rain hammered a metal roof. Voices shouted near and far at once. A shadow moved behind her. A hard blow lit the world white. She woke gasping, sweat cold on her skin, the ceiling steady and real above her. Morning crept gray through the blinds. She made tea the way her hands insisted. Kettle first, 2 taps on the counter, a swirl with the spoon clockwise 3 times, and stared at the steam until the window fogged. "What happened to me?" she whispered into the empty room. The kettle ticked as it cooled. A bus rumbled outside. She pulled a small notebook from a drawer and wrote in crooked letters. "Water. Rain on metal." Voices. "Hit. She added another line, woman with sharp smile appears in many photos. She underlined it twice. The pen left a blot of ink like a tiny bruise. When she closed the notebook, a name rose to the surface of her mind as if it had been waiting in the deep. Nora Stone. The woman from the photos. The sharp smile. The steady eyes. Anna didn't know why that name mattered, but it did. It felt like a thin thread tied to the edge of a long, dark river. And she knew she had to pull. Kate showed up the next day with paper cups of soup and a worried face. She barely set the bag on the counter before asking, "How are you holding up?" Anna shrugged. "Pieces," she said. "Some things feel close. Then they slide away." Kate opened a container and pushed it toward her. "Eat first. Talk after." They sat at the small table. Steam rose between them. "I didn't want to say this on the phone," Kate tried again, "but it's about Mark." The name hit like a stone dropped in a pond, ripples then a shape. "Mark Hale?" Anna asked slowly. "Yes," Kate said, surprised. "He called the office. He was angry. He said you left a mess." Anna stared at the tabletop. A scene flickered. A door, a suitcase, a sharp voice. "He shouted," she whispered. "He said I was useless." Kate's jaw tightened. "He's always been cruel. And when HR fired you, he acted like it proved his point." Anna's breath went thin. "Why was I fired?" "Cutbacks," they said. But it felt personal. Kate paused. "Do you remember Nora?" The name slid into place like a key. "Nora Stone," Anna breathed. Kate nodded. "You two were close. She's been off the grid for almost 2 weeks." The room seemed to tilt. Anna gripped the table. "I think Nora matters." Night brought another dream. Rain pounded a metal roof. A narrow room, a table scattered with photos. Voices, fast, urgent. "Anna, look," a woman said in the dream. The voice was warm and fierce. "This is bigger than a story." A shadow moved. A blow. White light. She woke clutching the sheets. At dawn, Anna told Kate everything. The water, the roof, the table, the blow. Kate listened without interrupting. "If Nora's involved," Kate said carefully, "we need to check her place." Anna hesitated. "I don't know where she lives." Kate pulled out her phone, scrolled and pointed to a contact. "Ellen Stone, Nora's mother. She lives up near Green Lake. She might know." Anna's fingers trembled. "Come with me." "Of course," Kate said. They rode the bus through gray drizzle and quiet neighborhoods. When Ellen opened the door, she studied Anna's face with a small, aching hope. "Anna?" Ellen asked. "You look so tired." "I am," Anna said. "We're worried about Nora." Ellen's shoulders sagged. "She left for the city 12 days ago. He said it was work. He never came back. She hasn't called." Anna and Kate traded a look. "Do you have a key to her apartment?" Anna asked. Ellen nodded slowly. "Yes. Take it. Please find her." Nora's apartment sat above a coffee shop in Fremont, the hallway smelling of beans and old carpet cleaner. Inside, the place was a careful mess. Notes stacked on the table, a laptop asleep, a mug with a tied line of cold coffee. Anna touched the trackpad. The screen woke. An inbox flashed with sharp subject lines. "Deadline, Nora. Final warning. We can't keep covering." Kate whistled. She was drowning in work. Anna scanned down until one line snagged her eye. From Hannah Miles. Subject: meeting tonight. 8 p.m. She clicked. A short message bloomed. "It's important. You'll understand when you see it. Don't come alone." A pinned map marker glowed at the bottom. An old boathouse at the south end of the Sound. Anna pressed her fingers to her temples. "I know this place," she whispered. "From my dream." Kate's voice went low. "We should not go alone." "We won't," Anna said, though she didn't yet know who else they could trust. She photographed the email with Kate's phone, then opened a folder on the desk. Photographs spilled out, faces, names, arrows between them. In the center sat a printout of a man in a tailored coat, half smile caught mid-turn. Below, Nora's sharp handwriting, Victor Gray, procurement, state health, money, pressure, women. Anna felt the world tilt again. "Him," she said, though she couldn't say why. On the walk back, wind curled rain around their ankles. "Who is Victor Gray?" Kate asked. Anna shook her head. "Something bad," she said. Nora wrote his name again and again. At Anna's apartment they spread the notes across the table. Police reports with black bars. Business articles about contracts and vendors. Screenshots of social threads. In the center, a photo of a young woman with auburn hair and wary eyes. Anna Miles. Anna traced the picture with one finger. She's not just a source, she murmured. She's a victim. Kate read a note aloud. Engaged to Gray 2 years ago. Controlled her money, her job, her friends. He tried to leave. Accident on I-5. Hospitalized. Anna's stomach tightened. Another card read, Father, retired captain, lives near docks. Kate's brows lifted. Hannah's father could help. Anna nodded. But first the boathouse. Kate scoffed. You want to walk back into your nightmare? I want to make it stop being a nightmare, Anna said. I want it to be a memory I can use. They reached the boathouse by mid-afternoon, clouds hanging low, water the color of slate. The building's siding was rust orange, graffiti curling along the bottom boards. A metal stair climbed to a second-floor door. Kate grabbed Anna's sleeve. If we see anything off, we run. Deal, Anna said. They went up. The hallway smelled of damp wood and salt. Inside the big room, broken chairs lay piled in a corner, but one table sat clear as if someone had planned to return. Anna stepped closer. She saw it all at once, like a film snapping into focus. Nora leaning over photographs, Hannah's voice tight with fear, wind pounding the roof, the door slamming open, 2 men in dark coats, a fist like iron. Anna's hand flew to the back of her head. This is where it happened, she said. They came for us. We didn't even finish speaking. Kate's voice was barely a breath. Did you see faces? Not clearly, Anna said. But I remember Nora shouting a name. She searched the room, then looked out at the gray water. Victor, she whispered. She shouted Victor. Back at the apartment, Anna laid a blank page on the table and started a list. Boathouse. 2 men. Gray. Hannah missing. Nora missing. Kate stood at the window chewing her lip. We need the police, she said. We have names, a location, threats. Anna nodded slowly. We also need Hannah's father. If she's alive, he'll fight to find her. Kate picked up her keys. Let's go. The house near the docks was small and neat, the yard lined with rope coiled like sleeping snakes. The man who opened the door had sea-weathered skin and steady eyes. Captain Miles? Anna asked. I'm Anna Reed. His gaze flicked to Kate, then back. Come in, he said simply. He poured coffee without asking and waited. Anna told him everything. Nora's notes, Hannah's email, the boathouse, the attack, the blank hours in the water, the name Victor Gray. He didn't blink. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, he set his mug down with care. You're lucky to be alive, he said. My daughter is too, if she still is. The room went quiet. We go to the police, he added. But we don't go empty-handed. At the precinct, a detective with a tired tie listened while Anna laid out the folder. This is a lot, he said, flipping a page. But it's still threads. Captain Miles leaned forward. Thread enough to pull. You have a meeting place, a date, a pattern of harm, and a name with power, he said, tapping Victor Gray. You wait and my girl dies. The detective studied him, then Anna. We can set up eyes at the docks, he said finally. If this Gray bites, we'll be there. Kate glanced at Anna. You can't be the bait, she whispered. Anna's hands were cold, but her voice was steady. He already tried to drown me, she said. He thinks I'm gone. If he hears my voice, he'll show. The detective frowned. We don't lure people without a plan. Captain Miles folded his arms. Then make a plan. The detective sighed and stood. Give me an hour, he said. We'll coordinate with Tacoma. If there's a meeting, we turn the lights on fast. Anna looked down at the notes. Her own scribbled words stared back. Water. He swallowed. I'll make the call, she said. The burner phone felt heavy in her hand. Rain ticked at the window. Kate stood beside her. Captain Miles watched from the doorway. Anna dialed the number Nora had linked to Gray's shell company. It rang twice. A voice answered, low and flat. Gray. Anna gripped the counter. Victor, she said, keeping her tone even, I have something you want. Silence breathed on the line. Then a quiet, humorless laugh. The drowned girl, he said. back from the dark. Her stomach dropped. He knew. He had always known. You want Nora Stone and Hannah Miles, she said, forcing her voice to harden. You'll bring them to the Tacoma docks. 8 hours. No police. Or you'll never see what matters to you again. Another pause. What matters to me? He asked, curious. Anna let the words fall like stones. Your freedom. A beat. Fine, Gray said. 8 hours. The line clicked dead. Anna exhaled a breath she didn't know she was holding. Kate squeezed her arm. He's coming. Captain Miles nodded once. Then so are we. Night laid a wet hand over the docks. Floodlights stayed dark. Unmarked cars idled far back. Officers crouched behind stacked containers, radios whispering. The water slapped the pylons with slow, cold patience. Anna stood between Kate and Captain Miles, a blanket over her shoulders she refused to close. Stay behind me, the captain said. No matter what. I will, Anna said, eyes on the black line of water. An engine's rumble grew from the dark. A boat slid into view, its bow cutting a quiet V. It hovered near the pier without tying off. 2 men hauled shapes toward the edge. 2 women, hands bound, faces gray in the weak light. Hannah, the captain breathed. Nora, Anna whispered. The splash when they hit the water cracked something inside her. Officers surged. Lights burst alive. Police. Hands up. The men froze. One twitched. A warning shot cracked the air. They dropped, hands splayed. In the harsh light, a third figure stood near the helm, calm as a winter statue, Victor Gray. He looked at Anna and a thin smile cut his face. You were supposed to sink, he said. Everything moved at once. Officers swarmed the boat. Hands grabbed Gray's arms, steel cuffs clicked. Hannah and Nora were pulled dripping onto the pier, coughing, shuddering, alive. Captain Miles dropped to his knees, gathering his daughter into his chest. You're here, he said, voice breaking. You're here. Nora turned her head, searching until her eyes found Anna. You didn't drown, she rasped. You didn't either, Anna whispered back. Gray never looked away from Anna, even as the officers led him toward a car. You think this ends me, he said softly. Truth ends you, Anna answered, surprised at the strength in her own voice. The convoy pulled away. Sirens wailed faintly, then faded into the wet dark. On the pier, blankets wrapped around shaking shoulders. Nora gripped Anna's hand. I was wrong, Nora said, breath raw. About being our own justice. I thought fear would keep them back. It only drew them in. Anna squeezed once. We're not alone anymore. The detective approached, his voice gentler now. Ambulance is on its way. Then statements. Then sleep. Anna looked at the black water. For the first time it didn't look like a grave. It looked like a mirror, cold, clear, and done with secrets. The ambulance carried Nora and Hannah away for checkups. But Anna refused to leave the station until she gave her full statement. She sat in a small room, the clock ticking, the detective's pen scratching. Tell it from the beginning, he said. Anna breathed out. I woke up with no name. Then I remembered the water. Then Nora. Her voice cracked as she described the boathouse, the blow, the cold tide. When she finally stopped, the detective leaned back. It matches with what Nora told us. It'll hold in court. Anna pressed her palms to the table. He'll try again, she whispered. Not from behind bars, the detective assured. But Anna saw Gray's cold smile in her mind. She wasn't sure prison walls would silence a man like him. That night, Anna sat in her apartment with Kate. The rain softened to mist outside. Steam curled from mugs of chamomile tea. For a long time neither spoke. Finally Kate said, You scared me, you know. I thought you'd never come back. Anna managed a tired smile. I thought so too. Kate reached across the table, her hand covering Anna's. You don't have to carry this alone. Anna's eyes dropped to their joined hands. I still don't remember everything, she said quietly. But I remember fear. And I remember Nora's face. Kate squeezed her hand. Fear doesn't have to own you. You survived. The next morning Anna visited the hospital. Nora was pale but awake, her hair tangled, her smile faint but fierce. You came, Nora rasped. Always, Anna whispered. Hannah lay in the next bed, her father sitting close, his rough hands clasping hers. His eyes lifted when Anna entered. "Thank you," he said simply. Hannah's lips trembled. "I thought I'd never see him again." She pressed her face to her father's shoulder. Nora motioned Anna closer. "We thought justice would feel sweet," Nora murmured. "But it nearly killed us." Anna nodded, tears stinging. "Justice isn't revenge," she said softly. "It's survival." Days passed. Gray remained in custody, charged with conspiracy, assault, and corruption. The news ran with the story, headlines flashing his downfall. People whispered his name in cafes and buses. But inside Anna's apartment the world was quieter. Nora visited often, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders, her fire dimmed but not gone. Hannah sometimes joined, her eyes still shadowed by fear but steadier in her father's presence. Kate kept them fed with soup and gentle jokes. They didn't talk about revenge. They talked about books, about music, about ordinary things. Healing came not from plans or plots but from these small shared moments. One evening, Anna pulled out the notebook she had started the night she remembered her first dream. She opened to the page where she had scrawled, "Water. Voices. Hit." She drew a line under it and wrote in careful letters, "Truth 1." Nora leaned over her shoulder, reading. "You should keep writing," she said. Anna looked at her. "Why?" "Because people forget," Nora said softly. "And stories remind them." Hannah nodded from the couch. "If someone had reminded me earlier, maybe I wouldn't have stayed with him so long." The room went quiet. Anna closed the notebook gently. "Then I'll write," she promised. Weeks later, spring touched Seattle with fragile sun. Anna, Nora, Hannah, and Kate walked by Green Lake, the water bright and full of geese. Captain Miles walked a few paces ahead with his granddaughter, Julia. The child laughed as she threw breadcrumbs, the birds flapping and squawking in delight. Anna watched her, a warmth rising in her chest. Julia was untouched by Gray's darkness, untouched by lies or blows or salt water. She was proof that a future could be different. "That's worth protecting," Anna said aloud. Nora followed her gaze and smiled faintly. "That's what justice should mean," she agreed. That night Anna dreamed again. But not of water, not of blows. She dreamed of Julia's laughter echoing across the lake, of feathers lifting into the sky. She woke with a start, heart pounding but calm. The fear had loosened its grip. For the first time since waking under hospital lights she felt whole. Kate stirred on the couch, blinking sleepily. "Another nightmare?" she asked. Anna shook her head. "No," she whispered. "A good dream." Kate smiled and drifted back to sleep. Anna lay awake, staring at the ceiling and let herself breathe. The trial came quickly. Gray's lawyers argued, but the evidence Nora had gathered was overwhelming. Hannah testified, her voice trembling but strong, recounting years of manipulation. Nora spoke about the files, the boathouse, the threats. Anna told her story too, of waking nameless, of remembering, of choosing truth. The jury listened. When the verdict came, guilty on all counts, the courtroom exhaled as one. Gray stood silent, his arrogance cracked at last. Anna met his eyes one final time. She didn't flinch. He was just a man now. And men could be stopped. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, microphones thrust forward. Nora waved them off. Hannah clung to her father. Anna stepped into the sunlight, the noise washing past her. Kate caught her arm. "Let's go," she said firmly. They walked together down the courthouse steps, away from cameras and questions. "What now?" Kate asked. Anna thought of her notebook, of Julia at the lake, of Nora's tired smile. "We live," she said. "We live, and we don't let fear be louder than truth." Kate squeezed her hand. "That's enough," she agreed. And for the first time Anna believed it. Weeks later, Anna sat at her kitchen table writing the final page of her notebook. The rain tapped gently on the window. Nora's laughter drifted from the couch where she and Kate argued over a movie. Hannah and her father were visiting family in Oregon, safe at last. Julia's drawing, swans on a lake, hung on the fridge. Anna wrote in clear, steady letters. "Justice is not about revenge. It is about light, about truth, about breaking the chains that silence us." She closed the notebook, set down the pen, and let the quiet settle around her. The nightmare had ended. The scars remained, but so did the hope. Anna Reed finally felt whole again. Moral lesson. Revenge may feel tempting, but it rarely brings peace. True justice comes from courage, truth, and the choice to break cycles of harm, so that the next generation can live free of the shadows we survived. Thanks you for watching, and please remember to tell us where you are watching from today. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more of this.